If you've ever felt closer to a voice than to a face, subscribe and stay. These are the stories where connection begins in the dark, before names, before titles, before truth gets in the way. The voice note was never meant for him. That's the first thing he understands when it plays through his phone. Quiet, unguarded, spoken too close to the microphone. The sound of someone exhaling before they speak, like they've been holding something in for too long. "I don't know why I'm even saying this," the woman says softly. "I just needed to say it somewhere." He frowns slightly, thumb hovering over the screen. Wrong number. He's about to stop it when something in her tone makes him pause. "It's exhausting," she continues, voice steady but worn. "Being the person everyone expects you to be. I keep wondering what would happen if I just disappeared for a while." There's a quiet rustle like fabric shifting. "I wouldn't even know who I'd be without all of it." The message ends. He stares at his phone, heart unexpectedly heavy. It would be easier to delete it, to pretend he never heard something so private. Instead he types, "Hey, I think this was sent to the wrong number. But if it helps, you don't sound weak. You sound tired." He hesitates, then adds, "Sometimes saying it out loud is the bravest thing." He almost regrets sending it immediately. Almost. 3 dots appear, then disappear, then reappear. "I'm sorry," she replies. "That was a mistake. I didn't realize." He responds quickly, "You don't have to explain. I won't share it." A pause. "Thank you," she types. I didn't expect a response. Neither did he. They don't exchange names. They don't ask questions they shouldn't. But that night she sends another voice note. This one shorter. "Do you ever feel like you're performing a version of yourself that doesn't exist anymore?" He listens twice before replying. "Yes," he types. "I think most people do. The trick is figuring out which parts are still yours." There's a longer pause this time. Then, "Can I ask you something?" Her voice comes again, quieter now, more certain. "Why did you answer?" He exhales slowly. "Because," he replies, speaking into the mic without thinking too hard. "Someone once listened when I didn't think anyone would." His own voice surprises him, low, steady, unguarded. He doesn't send voice notes often, but she listens. He knows because she responds with one of her own almost immediately. "Then maybe," she says softly, "this wasn't a mistake." The messages continue over the next few days. Not constant, not demanding, intentional. She talks about long hours, about pressure, about being surrounded by people who only want outcomes from her. He talks about choosing quiet, about rebuilding a life that didn't need applause. She never says what she does. He never asks. There's an intimacy to the anonymity that feels almost sacred. One night, after a particularly long silence, she sends another voice note. "I listen to your messages when I can't sleep," she admits. "Your voice, it grounds me." His breath stills. "That's dangerous," he replies gently. "I know," she says. "But so is pretending I don't feel it." He sits with that longer than he should. "We should probably stop," he types eventually. Another pause. "Do you want to?" she asks. He doesn't. "No," he answers honestly. "I just think we should be careful." Her reply comes as text this time. "I am careful. I just don't hide anymore." Something shifts in him then, not attraction, not desire. Recognition. The understanding that this connection isn't accidental. It's chosen. The night they finally speak live, it's unplanned. She calls without warning. He stares at the screen for a full 3 seconds before answering. "Hello." There's a breath on the other end. Familiar now. "Hi," she says. "I wasn't sure you'd pick up." "I'm glad you called," he replies. The silence that follows isn't awkward. It's charged. They talk for over an hour. About nothing. About everything. Her laugh is soft, surprised, like she doesn't use it often. His voice lowers when he listens, steady and unhurried. She tells him she likes how he never rushes to fix things. He tells her he likes how she says what she means without dressing it up. At the end of the call, neither of them wants to be the one to hang up. "We should probably stop doing this," she says again, but this time there's a smile in her voice. "We won't," he says quietly. She exhales. "No, we won't." The next day everything changes. He's at work when he sees her. Not her face, not yet. Just the posture. The presence. The way the room subtly rearranges itself around her as she walks in. Theo. He freezes. It can't be. But then she speaks. And the voice, the exact cadence, the familiar warmth, slides into place like a missing piece. His chest tightens. She hasn't seen him yet. She's focused on the room, on the people, on the agenda. But he knows. The woman who whispered her doubts into his phone late at night is standing 10 feet away, commanding the room with effortless authority. His phone buzzes in his pocket. I didn't know you worked here, her text reads. His pulse spikes. I didn't know you were her, he types back. She looks up then. Their eyes meet. The world narrows. No one else notices the moment. No one else could understand it. Her expression shifts just slightly, control cracking at the edges. After the meeting, she doesn't leave immediately. She waits. So does he. In the quiet hallway outside the boardroom, she finally speaks. I didn't mean for you to find out like this, she says softly. I didn't mean to hear your voice in a room full of people, he replies. They stand there, the air thick with everything unsaid. Are you angry? She asks. No, he says honestly. Are you afraid? She nods. Yes. They hold each other's gaze. This doesn't have to end, he says quietly. She swallows. It does if you want it to. I don't, he replies. Her breath trembles. Neither do I. But the truth now sits between them. Heavy, unavoidable. No longer anonymous. No longer safe. And as they stand there, inches apart in a corridor filled with power and consequence, both of them understand the same thing. What began as a voice in the dark has just stepped into the light. And neither of them knows what it will cost to stay. They don't speak right away. The hallway hums faintly with distant voices and footsteps. But around them, the world has narrowed to something fragile and exact. She stands with her shoulders squared, posture immaculate. Yet the control she wears so easily in boardrooms is thinner here, cracked by recognition. I never meant for you to see me like that, she says finally. Like what? He asks gently. She exhales. Unfiltered. Uncertain. He studies her, the woman whose voice carried exhaustion and honesty in the dark, now standing inches from him in daylight and authority. I don't think uncertainty makes you smaller, he says. I think it makes you human. That lands harder than any compliment could. She looks away briefly, gathering herself, then nods toward the end of the corridor. Walk with me. They move side by side, not touching, matching pace instinctively. The elevator doors slide open, and they step inside together. The soft hum of descent fills the space, intimate in its quiet. I should have told you who I was, she says. I just didn't want to be that person when I talked to you. I know, he replies. I didn't want you to be. She turns to face him, then really face him, eyes searching his. And now, she asks. Now, he says. We decide whether that connection only worked because of the dark. The elevator slows, then stops between floors. She laughs softly under her breath. That feels symbolic. Does it? He asks. Yes, she says. Because this is where I usually choose control. And tonight. She hesitates. Tonight, I don't want to pretend I didn't feel seen, she admits. By someone who didn't need anything from me. The doors open. They step out into the quiet lobby, mostly empty now. The city outside glows through glass, reflections overlapping, blurring lines. They sit on a low bench near the windows. People talk to me all day, she continues. They pitch, they negotiate, they flatter. You were the only one who just listened. He nods. Because you weren't asking for answers. You were asking to be heard. She swallows. That voice note, she says, was the first honest thing I'd said in years. And the bravest, he adds. She meets his gaze again. If this continues, it won't be simple. I know, he says. But it can be real. She studies him, weighing risk against relief. I won't hide, she says. And I won't let you be collateral. I wouldn't let you, he replies evenly. Another silence settles, this one calmer, steadier. Come with me, she says suddenly. Not home. Just somewhere quiet. He doesn't ask where. They walk a few blocks to a small rooftop terrace attached to a closed cafe. The city stretching beneath them like a living thing. String lights flicker softly overhead. warm against the night air. She leans against the railing, breathing deeply. I've spent years convincing myself that closeness costs too much, she says. That it compromises clarity. And now? He asks, stepping closer, but still not touching. And now, she says, turning slightly, I think distance costs more. Their proximity is deliberate now. Chosen. He lifts a hand slowly, giving her time to step away. She doesn't. His fingers brush hers, light grounding. The contact sends a quiet charge through both of them. This doesn't erase the world we live in, she says softly. No, he agrees. But it changes how we move through it. She turns fully toward him, close enough that her breath warms his cheek. I don't want to go back to only hearing your voice through a screen, she admits. Then don't, he says. Their kiss, when it comes, is unhurried and certain. No urgency, no hunger. Just the meeting of two people who chose honesty first. They part slowly, foreheads resting together. This started with a mistake, she murmurs. No, he corrects gently. It started with truth. Weeks pass. They move carefully, openly. Conversations are had before questions can form. Boundaries are drawn without resentment. At work, she remains the CEO. He remains grounded in his role, but with a clarity that earns respect rather than suspicion. There are no secrets, no whispered corridors. Outside of it, they build something quiet. Late-night walks. Long calls that end in shared silence. The comfort of being known without performance. One evening, months later, she sends him a voice note. Not because she's lonely, but because she wants to. I'm not disappearing tonight, she says softly. I just wanted to hear you say my name. He listens, smiling, then replies, I'm right here. And this time, the voice doesn't echo in the dark alone. It carries into a life they're choosing. Together, deliberately, without hiding. What began as a wrong number became the right connection. And neither of them needs anonymity anymore to keep it alive.